For President Donald Trump, extreme masculinity was a defining feature of his persona and his behavior both on the campaign trail and in office. But Trump was far from the first president to accentuate masculinity in his politics, nor is he likely to be the last. Consider Teddy Roosevelt's unabashed paean to violence and a desperate fashioning of masculinity into political culture, or more recently, George W. Bush's swagger of privileged Texas masculinity. These are only 3 examples of presidents who paraded their masculinity both on the campaign trail and in office. But there are many more, including Ronald Reagan and Lyndon Baines Johnson, both of whom cultivated an outdoorsy cowboy image, though Reagan's portrayal was somewhat more genteel than Johnson's infamous foul-mouth and bullying behavior. Masculinity can also play a role in presidential campaigns when it is noticeably absent. Michael Dukakis's campaign photo op, riding around in a military tank and looking silly, was one of the biggest mistakes in a campaign of many mistakes. Similarly, John Kerry taking part in an elitist sport, windsurfing, while wearing a mildly effeminate bodysuit, bolstered the image of him as not being tough enough for the job. While these examples all arise from the highly visible arena of the U.S. presidency, assertions and contestations of masculinity claims can be found across all levels of the political system, among candidates and voters, in elections local and national. Masculinity is not new to U.S. politics. But what is new is the effort made by political science and other fields to apply the relatively long history of masculinity research to the political world. Psychology and sociology have been analyzing and measuring masculinity and its effects for decades, but they rarely pay any attention to potential political effects. Political science as a field has largely ignored masculinity until very recently. Studying, understanding, and analyzing masculinity have been priorities in the fields of psychology, sociology, and gender studies for at least a decade, and in some cases, especially psychology, multiple decades. What these studies show is that masculinity, in its many forms, helps to predict attitudes and behaviors not only for men, but also for women. Masculinity has been found to impact aspects of American life as diverse as mental health and help-seeking, domestic violence, physical health disparities, and educational success. We can also see the importance of masculinity in the wide range of journals that publish articles on the topic. The most notable are the specific journals, Men and Masculinities, and Psychology of Men and Masculinities. Well above average impact factors of 3.893 and 3.971 respectively.